Hi.
Hey there.
Hey, Jerome.
Much love, much love. Great to see you.
Great to see you too.
Awesome. How's your day been? I know it's I think around 6 p.m. over there.
Yeah, it is. I'm in Paris. It's 6 p.m. I had a great day, a calm day, so it's a great day.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know, I've never been to Paris myself. I've only been to Nice, France. I got as close as Nice from Italy.
Yeah, I don't know Nice very well, but it's sunny over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't know Nice very well, but how long have you been in Paris?
Oh, it's been a long time. I've been in Paris since I was 4 years old. 4 years old.
Wow. So
And I'm
you
31 now. So
literally, you grew up there. You grew up
yeah,
in Paris.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is amazing. You're the first person I think that I've, had a conversation with like this that grew up in Paris. I never have had a conversation with anyone, that has had that experience.
So
I mean, where were you before 4 years old with those years?
I'm from Martinique, French West Indies. Martinique,
Martinique.
French West Indies. Yeah,
Okay.
uh, it's my home. It's my yeah, it's my birth home, and it's where I want to go back to live too.
Okay, so you intend to go back to Martinique.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, then what keeps you in Paris then? Like what do you enjoy most about it, being
Mm,
there for all these years?
is the place I grew up the most. Is the
Mhm.
place I have all my tribe, all my friends, my family, and I think the reason I'm still here is because I'm the place I'm used to. But it's going to change really soon. I'm I'm putting the things in place to move really soon. But it's really the place where I grew the most. Is the place where I hurt the most too, but it's the place I evolved the most. So
Okay. The most
yeah,
evolution, the most
yeah,
growth, the most time. Memories, a lot of memories.
a lot.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. And remind me, I want to learn how to pronounce your name correctly. How does your family, how do they pronounce your name?
Laurence Theodose.
Laurence
Oui,
Theodose.
oui, yes.
Laurence, ok, oui, merci, merci beaucoup. Merci
Thank.
beaucoup.
I'm really, I'm
Laurence,
really honored to be the first French, the first Parisian to be able to talk with you on live on Instagram. I'm honored.
honored as well, honored as well. Laurence is there a meaning? Do you know the meaning of the name?
Laurence, there's different meaning. You have alchemical meaning with l'or. It's l'or. It's gold in French, and
Gold.
you have some alchemical meaning about it. You have the meaning about the. I'm not gonna find the word in English for it. It's like a crown,
Mm-hmm.
a plant crown. I don't remember the name in English. Um, Caesar and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You see which one?
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
this one. It means this plant.
Okay. And Laurence is also you said gold.
Yes, and gold.
Gold. Okay. So you have the Midas touch. Like everything you touch turns to gold.
I don't know. I don't know, but I quite fond of alchemy. So
Alchemy. That's beautiful. They say, when it comes to alchemy, people like yourself, are able to make the best out of even the worst situations. You're able to alchemize and change the vibration. Do you feel like that's true in your life?
it's totally true. You put it perfectly in so few words. It's it's really that. I think the things I lived, I managed to transform them into to to transmute the pain, the anger, the sadness, and a lot of other emotions, and in something that I want to share, something that is more love, more about healing, more about community, more about going somewhere different, doing something different, and being able to be who we are. We are without the pain, we are without the trauma, we are without what society makes us.
Right.
I
For
do
sure.
for my
No,
English. It's not.
no. It's good. It's good. Like, thank you. I'm definitely feeling your energy. I'm feeling your energy and I'm understanding just from your words, your emotions, and your feelings as you're recalling these scenarios that you've alchemized, that you transmuted, and that you've really had to compute. You've had to be resolute. You'd have to go through it. You had to grow through it,
Yeah.
as you go through it. So if you could share, Laurence, if there was a moment in time that you can recall where you did have to use that alchemy, where you did have to use that energy transmutation to turn pain into maybe purpose, or pain into passion, or pain into, something that was more powerful for you. How did you do that? Yeah.
Uh, I guess I'm gonna share about my endometriosis.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
it was really a hard time for me. I suffered for many years and keep on turning back to the same point with no evolution.
Mm.
Um, it took time. It took really steps,
Mm.
and it took for me to understand I needed to address and nourish all parts of myself.
Mm-hmm.
That I needed to feel and be okay to feel and release my emotions.
Mm.
That I needed to make peace with my femininity, and some of the steps it led me to the way where now I'm in love with my cyclicity. I'm in love with my womb. I'm not in pain anymore. I'm so in love with my femininity and with yoni and all that is sacred about being a woman. That's why I teach now. I I experienced it, and now it's what I teach. So I think I managed to alchemize the moments I felt more powerless. I felt more angry, angry,
The anger. Okay.
and and guilty too, and maybe a little shame. I
Mm.
mean, yeah, I think yeah, there are all the emotions. Yeah, I kept, and yeah.
Yeah. What was the hardest to alchemize when it came to, because the guilt, the shame, and the blame games, those really get a lot of people down, and as well as anger as well. But for myself, I definitely went through cycles of all those different emotions, those different feeling states. And I remember for me, guilt was almost like I've done a bad thing.
Yeah.
But then shame was almost like I am a bad person, you know? So what was the most challenging out of those three? The anger, the guilt, and the shame. What was the most challenging?
Mm, for me, I would say the anger, cause it built, and I was kind of looking the other way, like no, everything's alright. I'm not that angry. I'm fine. I'm a really smiley person. So yeah, think I put masks for a long time, and when I really looked at all the anger, I think it was so about so many things. It was so big, so huge. Uh, it shook me and took me time to address to everything.
Right. Right. Thank you for your honesty. Just thank you for your transparency and talking about how it did take time. It wasn't just overnight, but it was over a period,
Mm-hmm.
over a period of time that it took for you to really purge certain things and really process
Yes.
certain things and acknowledge even the anger. It's hard for a lot of people to acknowledge just the anger. I mean, we do a lot of things to try and avoid and escape
Yeah.
and tiptoe around and, get away from the anger. But, you look in the mirror, you're still staring at yourself. There's no one else.
Mm.
You're with yourself. You're in your own body. There's no one else that's inhabiting this vessel but you. So, we might try to drink it away or we might try to think it away, but
Yes.
we can't. We have to address it.
You have to address.
Yeah. So,
And uh,
go ahead.
sorry.
Mhm.
I think as a woman, it's even more important to address it because we really keep it in our home,
Mhm.
and that manifests as so many symptoms, so
Mhm.
many little troubles. So I think it's really important to be okay, to know we're not gonna die, to feel our emotions, and
Right.
to, like it's saying, emotions, we need to let them move, we need to release
Mhm.
them, and we need to do that cycle
Mhm.
in cycle. So it's really what I experience, and it's what I see every day with what I teach to women.
For sure.
And yeah,
Yeah.
anger, yeah, it's fire, really. In elements in alchemy, it's fire.
Mhm.
Fire can destroy, fire can create. You just have to shift the frequency, the vibration, the intent
Mhm.
of this fire,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it can transform you or it can destroy you.
Exactly, exactly. It has those dynamics for sure. It can create or destroy, with what we employ, like how do we use it? So we don't abuse it, but we learn how to use it. We can learn how to harness that energy. So that's a really profound point that you make there, Laurence. When it comes to anger, you know, did you do anything when it came to like what advice would you have for somebody who is actually going through that right now? They have a lot of anger that they don't know how to process. Did you do journaling? Did you do words of affirmation? Did you sit in meditation? Like what were some of the methods that you would advise somebody to go through to process?
Really, there was four things for me.
Mhm.
Uh, Breathing, really sit with it, and
Mhm.
breathe,
Breathe.
breathe through,
Okay.
through it.
Mhm.
Because I have the tendency just to stop breathing when I feel like too
Mhm.
much, when I feel like it's too much. So just the first thing for me was really to learn to sit with it and breathe through it.
Mm.
Uh, then I did a lot of journaling.
Okay.
So a lot of just expression, free expression, not judging, and just let it out, let it out, let it out, let it out.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of dancing, but really free movement. It's really play, but put some music. I want to listen right now and just
Yeah.
move, move, feel the emotion in my body, and move it till I, yeah, move,
Mhm.
move with it. I would say, and release it with my movements.
Mhm.
And the fourth thing I would say, it's work with my cycle.
Okay.
Work with my cycle, because we have just the right moment to help with that release.
Mhm.
So when you do it while you're bleeding, it's even more even more stronger to do some emotional release
Yes.
when you're playing. So yeah.
Beautiful. So thank you for those four, those four tips. Those are really great advice, like really great tips, really great pointers. So once again, you said you were breathing with it, you would sit with it and breathe.
Yes.
Then you were journaling,
Yes.
writing it out, writing it down. Then you also danced. You're working with movement. So like they say, we have to feel it to heal it, If we don't feel it, we don't reveal it, we don't heal it. So with that energy and motion, you worked with your emotions by being in movement, you found more improvement. And then the last one with your cycle, working with your cycle.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, if anyone didn't really know what endometriosis was, like when you mentioned endometriosis, and if somebody heard this for the first time and they're like, what is that? How would you describe it?
Cool. I never done it in English, I think. It's something many women of our world today suffer from. I would say this. The tissue you're bleeding out when you are your bleeding time migrate in other places in your body, and they keep working as if they were in the womb.
Oh.
So there is inflammation,
Okay.
like pain. There is adherences between the tissue, the muscles, and everything. Yeah, you have in energy. You say you have a stasis of energy in the one place, and it causes you, pain, long period of bleeding, fatigue, nervous fatigue, emotional fatigue, any kind of fatigue. But yeah, I would say you don't have one endometriosis. It's really the big problems I'm saying right now. It's really different for every woman. Different for every woman, and the trouble it's we find out after many years of suffering, and the treatments are the contraceptive pill, an artificial menopause, or surgery.
Wow.
Great treatments. So
Wow.
for me, it was not something that lasted. The effects of the treatment. So I explore a lot, and I began to find some answers when I learned about naturopathy, when I learned about Ayurveda, when I learned about Chinese traditional medicine. And yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that breakdown. Just thank you for the explanation. And I had no idea, that it was that extensive, and that, a lot of women, you're saying just this is widespread, that this happens, and you healed all of that, Laurence. That is amazing. That is amazing. Like, oh my goodness. Like, Jesus. Guys, like, you healed all of that.
Yes.
Wow.
Like I said, it's really a process. It's really a process, and now where I am now, I see I needed to address to my emotion. I needed to address to my sense of security too, because I think we are in a society that really is traumatized in so many ways. Little traumas, big traumas, it doesn't matter. It makes the same effect.
Right.
We cannot heal while we are in fight, flight, freeze, or form. We cannot learn, we cannot evolve, we cannot change. So we and I really needed that to address my nervous system, to regulate my nervous system, and repeatedly, and it's something I do every day. It's really important because yeah, the lives we have today, we our nervous system is really all over
Yeah.
the place, and we really need to address that, to be able to heal, to be able to learn, to be able to change, to be able to love, to be able to receive and to give, to be able to everything. The more you feel secure in your body, the more you feel secure, anchored.
Yeah.
Anchored, I would say, in your incarnation, in who you are, in what you feel, in your guidance,
Hmm.
in your in yourselves. You
Yeah.
know, uh, yeah.
I agree, Laurence. At a cellular level and at a cellular level, just at a whole-ular level, like, you definitely feel anchored, you definitely feel grounded, the energy is compounded, you know? So, there's another thing that you mentioned, and it was with your body in different ways that you saw differences happening with lifestyle changes. Can you talk about your stomach shrinking? Can you talk about like different things that you started to receive or started to feel differently in your body when you made certain lifestyle change?
There's so many things. There's so many things. I would say there's a lot about senses first.
Mhm.
Senses. Uh, everything. I, I would say I see better. I hear better. I feel things like the range is like wider. The range of sensation is wider. It's about pleasure too, like the 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 simplest thing uh, brings me pleasure, like just watching something, just hearing something, just feeling something. And I would say like it's a bigger awareness, it's a bigger consciousness, and it's a bigger range of sense, being able to sense things. And yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
uh, it's being able to feel like the language of my body, to feel the language of my womb, to feel the language of my heart. They are not the same. To hear when it's my it's my head, and I know it's my head, and to be able to disidentify to my thoughts and everything.
Mhm.
um, I would say it's about that. I would say it's about
Yeah.
feeling when I eat something that it doesn't bring me the same feeling of life, the same feeling of energy, the same feeling of I have trouble to find my words, sorry. The same feeling of it's like it's feeling you. It's like
Mhm.
it's feeling you. I don't find the word of what, but it's like it's feeling you in another way.
Okay.
And eat something, when I drink something, I feel that first now. And there's things I would love to eat, and now I just can't. I feel down after. I feel like nauseous after. I feel my body doesn't like it. I feel all the trouble my body has to digest it. Or yeah. And lastly, just really, really recently, I felt like my stomach like shrunk, and I don't know. It's like um, my hunger shifted towards something else.
Mm.
Uh, at the same time, I felt a hunger of learning, of learning things about all things that interest me, like alchemy, astrology, astronomy. I'm really fond of a lot of subjects, esoterics and mystery and everything. And I had that hunger,
Mm.
way less about food hunger, and it puzzled me. I'm still puzzled about this, but the same. It's every day since like a fortnight, something like that. It's the same, and
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, magnifique, magnifique. C'est bon. Laurence, oh my gosh, I resonate with you on so many levels. So
Oh,
many levels, Laurence. Like when you're talking about the hunger of learning, like if you could look down here, you see
yeah.
like this, all of these are all books right here, right? There's no television. I have no TV in my
Same,
apartment,
same.
you
Yeah.
know?
No
So
TV, no
there's no
TV.
TV. I'm just reading, like, I'm reading books, I'm writing books. It's like there's a voracious hunger, there's an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, for learning, for understanding, for wisdom, for just new experience and creating just new things that are very thought provoking, very mindful, very encouraging, very flourishing, and it's
Mhm.
just blossoming and blooming within me. And I'm just letting it. I'm just surrendering. I'll just surrender. Like, okay, okay, universe, all right, just show me because it's this hunger that, oh man, it's just taking you higher. Like you said before, Laurence, when that energy shifts, your whole spirit lifts
Yes.
when the energy shifts, and you don't have to resist it, you can just lean in. So this is amazing when you're talking about having your energy raising,
Mhm.
feeling so amazing, feeling different, feeling just the subtleties of now your level of consumption. Maybe like what was your level of consumption before? What were the things that you used to have that didn't affect you the way that they do now? When did it start to change and things started to feel a little strange? Yeah.
First, I was raised vegetarian,
Mhm.
so I would say I never ate, sorry, meat. I tasted, but never ate like regularly meat. Yeah. I was eating fish, dairy, and eggs. Along the way, I stopped eating
Mhm.
dairy. I just eat cheese really, 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 but I just really don't digest it anymore, really, like in the fortnight, just like I was telling you.
Mhm.
But it's more about the emotional binge eating I would do. It's more about that. It's
Mhm.
more about I would search comfort in sugar, in salty things, in mostly sugar, mostly sugar. But I would binge eating, little binge
Mhm.
eating when I wouldn't want to feel my
Right.
feelings.
Right.
Uh, um, I didn't see that at the moment, but the more I address to my emotion, the more my relationship to eating change, and to food change, and uh, um, yeah.
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 Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense, Laurence. When you're talking about, I mean, I did the same, with a lot of things. Growing up, I didn't have a crazy big, like, I didn't have a big sweet tooth growing up,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely sugar has been there all along, salt and the spices. And same as what you're talking about, Laurence, when I wasn't alchemizing, I
Mm-hmm.
was anesthetizing. I was putting myself under anesthesia. I was sedating myself, and creating myself a deeper hole. I was really digging a hole with my teeth. you know, with my teeth. I was digging myself into deeper holes with my body, and just I didn't really understand that when I wasn't processing my emotions in a healthy way, when I wasn't figuring out how to cope in a healthy way, I used food in that way. You know, I used food to cope with my emotions, to really stuff my emotions down in a place where I didn't have to acknowledge them. I didn't have to address them. I didn't have to, you know, really allow them to rise to the surface and find even more purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I felt nervous, I knew what to grab. If I felt, you know, agitated, I knew what to grab. If I felt depressed, I knew what to grab. If I felt grief, I knew what to grab. You know, there's always something to grab. It's never enough, you know?
Exactly.
So you go ahead.
Because I think the thing we're searching for, like, uh, a little, a little, a little, ah, I don't find the word, but I think the thing we're searching for in food or in binge watching series or anything really, it's the thing we avoid really. It's ourselves. It's really ourselves with all the parts of ourselves. The parts that are, like we said earlier, the parts that are afraid, the parts that are ashamed, the parts that are angered and everything. And and once, yeah, once you learn to sit with it, the more you sit with it, the more you nourish. Really, it's like nourishing a relationship with somebody, but with yourself and with parts of yourself. Because that's what I've done with my womb. Like I have a relationship with my womb, like it's a person, and I nourish it like every day, yeah, really. And the more you have this intimacy, I think, with your soul and with your womb, the less you need exterior things, the less you need something to fill the void, because the void, there's no void. You see, there is no void. There never was a void.
Wow, that is so profound. Oh man, there never was a void. You're like, there's nothing to avoid. The void does not exist. You know, when you're like, when you're not in, when you're no longer in resistance, the void is not in existence. You know, it cannot persist, right? That
Exactly.
is that is beautiful. That is beautiful, Laurence. So when you're talking about that, and when you were asking yourself questions, you know, about, you know, am I going pranic? Am I feeling like, what is happening to my body? My stomach is shrinking. I feel different. I'm not able to digest and ingest the same things as I did before. I I feel a lot different than I did before, and it's without a lot more, you know. So when you're feeling the less is more, and when you're feeling like, you know, you're receiving downloads and all sorts of things are happening, what sort of questions did you start to ask yourself about food in general, you know, about our bodies in general, just us as a species? And, you know, what profound questions where were they leading you when it comes to what we're talking about here?
I asked myself about. I'm gonna have trouble to say everything in English. The quality of the nutrients
Mhm.
in the food, and the frequency of the food.
Mhm.
What is more important? Uh, like if you eat a little portion of a really high vibrating food with great nutrients, uh, is it the same like as eating a great portion of just with great nutrients? You see what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, what is the influence of the vibration in food? What is the influence of your vibration when you're eating the food?
Mhm.
And how does it combine both of it? I don't know if you
Yeah,
get me.
yeah, that makes sense. Like, you're questioning everything. You're
Yes.
questioning every questions are the answer, you know? Questions, we find a lot more progression when we ask questions. We get a lot more lessons when we ask questions, you know? And it's interesting just asking that, like, what is the frequency? Because even back when we were talking about intimacy,
Mm-hmm.
one of my friends was telling me, Laurence, they were telling me that intimacy is like, into me I see,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They
Very
split up the words. They split up the word. They said that's real intimacy. It's like, into me I see, you know?
yes.
You're
Yes.
having intimacy with yourself, not necessarily intimate with someone else, but
Mm-hmm.
it's with yourself. So when you go internally and you look
Yeah.
internally, when you look within, you won't go without. But if you don't go within, we go without, you know? So when you were looking within and asking these questions about frequency and what you do frequently that becomes your frequency, you're like, okay, if I eat this, the quality of this, how is that affecting my energy? How is
Mm-hmm.
that affecting my frequency? How am I, affected? How am I connected? How is this respected? How is it protected? How is it reflected in my outer reality when it has a change on my inner mentality? So
Exactly.
these are great questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. I ask myself a lot. Uh, how do I nourish every part of myself? Like, how do I nourish my body? How do I nourish my mental? How do I nourish my heart? How do I nourish my home? And like, really, it's not just about food. It's about the actions. It's about the thoughts. It's about the emotions. It's about everything, like every level.
Mhm.
And I find that the more I nourish my soul, my home, my heart, the less my body like needs great quantity of food. I'm little like really. He makes me laugh. But yeah, I'm eating like really little,
Little. Wow.
little now. And whereas, I was used to eat a lot. I was used to eat a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Like,
Even when it was a better quality, it was a great quantity. And now the quantity is like reducing, getting smaller and smaller. And the part of my day or of my evening of my life, I would say, where I nourish my soul and my home and my heart and everything are bigger. So yeah,
beautiful.
that's my we're focused, and the more I align with that, the more I would say the exterior align with it, with me, aligns. Things are more fluid, are more in the flow around me, because I'm more in flow inside me.
Yes. Yes. The inside affects the outside. Magnifique. Beautiful.
Exactly.
Beautiful. I love hearing that. I love that for you, Laurence, that
Yeah.
you're feeling that on every level, and that it's expanding for you, that you're finding out that even just with a little, that you can do a lot with a little, you know? With a little bit, a little goes a long way. That's the saying I used to hear
Right.
around the way. They say a little goes a long way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when did you start hearing about pranic people? When you were asking yourself, am I going pranic? What's happening to me? What's going on with my body? What's going on with my energy? When did you start learning about people who were practicing pranic living, breatharianism, living on light, living on energy? Like, when did that awareness come into your field?
It was 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Mhm.
It was about at the same time of a breakup of a big relationship. I was with a man like with like 7 years, yeah.
Oh, oh.
So big breakup, and
Mhm.
around the same time, I was receiving a lot of downloads. I was like being more in tune with myself and around me, but I didn't trust myself. I had a lot of doubts and a lot of
Mhm.
a lot of critics from my ex-boyfriend. So that time, I really used that time to go go and learn, jump and go and learn and trust yourself. And yeah, I followed you at that time. I followed a lot of people like Nabila and some other people from Pranic family, and I've read a lot about that time, and I experienced my first fast, 72 hours fast, and
Wow.
there was a before and after. There was a before and after. I was like, it's like, I would say that. It's like I knew things and doing that fast and meeting that people, being in that energy, learning that thing. Really, that period in my life made me yeah go and trust myself and experience that I knew, experience that the subtle things I felt in my body, the subtle. I just needed to trust myself. I just needed to trust the process. I just needed to go and experience. I just needed to do the work. Just like you said, it doesn't mean a big 10 hours practice every day. Just really regularly, just the right things for me. At the right time, I would say, and yeah.
Yes. The right time, divine timing, you know. They say divine timing is never late, you
Yeah.
know. It's always divine. It's always on time, you know. So, my goodness, when you're talking about, you know, going 72 hours. So, what kind of fast was this 72 hours? Was this like a water fast, a dry fast? Like you just
What?
went without solids?
Yeah. It was water fast. I drank water. I drank. Yeah, it was just water. No, it was water. It was herbal teas,
Yeah.
water, and did I drink? No, no, just water and
Yeah.
herbal tea first. Yeah.
Wow. And going,
And
go ahead, go
I
ahead.
knew I forgot something. Coconut water.
Coconut
Coconut water.
water. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. I love coconut water. Yeah. When I was in Costa Rica, that was all I was having is coconut water all the time. Yeah, yeah,
Love it.
for sure. Very hydrating, very, electrolyzing
Exactly.
and yeah, very life-giving coconut water. So, Laurence, when you're going through 72 hours, at this point, was that the longest you had gone without solids? 72 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the longest. It was the longest. I knew like a day without solid food, but not more before. So
Wow.
it was the longest, and I was like active at the moment, so that's why I really needed the coconut water.
Hmm.
And to balance with meditation, to balance with breathing practices, to balance with pranic pranic giving practices, I would say.
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what did you learn about, time going through that period? Because, we take a lot of time. We usually, anyway, naturally take up a lot of time, not just with digestion, but with thinking about food, with going to buy the food, with preparing the food, with making the food, with eating the food, with cleaning the dishes, with doing all of that. when all of that for those 72 hours was kind of off your plate, so to speak, you know, you have a lot more time
Uh-huh.
than you think. So what did you learn to do with your time? You said, I think one of the things was meditation. You said, yeah.
Yeah. Time and energy, I would say. I gave a lot of time and energy.
And
I felt like an explosion of ideas and feelings and knowings
Mhm.
and all different levels of things.
Yeah.
And I would say I didn't felt the rush, like the need to go. I'm late. I need to. What
Yeah.
time is it? It wasn't the same. I never felt more present and more energized and more. I would say out out, out of out of out of society. Like I was with the people. I was working with the people, but I didn't felt like I was like here. I was like I don't know. I don't know, but I felt
Yeah.
really anchored, really present, and the time felt really different.
Hmm.
It Yeah, it was very different.
It does. It does. You know, I relate to you because it does definitely feel different. You know, when you're not stuffed, when you don't have so much that's like gunking up the internal guidance
Mm,
system, you know, like the intuition, they call it our gut instincts or our gut intuition. When there's not a lot clouding that and you're not really hazy, you don't have a lot of brain fog, you have a lot more clarity, you get a lot more done, you have a lot more energy, and it's a lot more slower paced. So you're not in a rush and you're not in a race, you know, you're just able to just be in that place with that
mhm,
serenity. You're able to be in your silence and your solitude and take solace in that. You know, you're able to be in your alone time without feeling lonely. You can be content, you know, you can be just in that state of contentment without needing to, you know, adjust or conform to the societal norms of the maelstrom and the tornado storm of everybody just running back and forth. Everybody has to do something to be somewhere and to be someone, right? We're all trying to be or do. We're all trying to do, but we don't spend a lot of time being and just a lot of time freeing that energy and just seeing that energy, just being present, just the power of now. There's so much power in just the present moment. I think that's why they call it the
yeah.
gift, right?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
the gift of the present. So that's beautiful for you. That's beautiful that you were able to witness that. And from your observations, Laurence, what would you say that you feel is some of people's greatest fear when it comes to just going a day? You went 3 days without eating, without solid food. You went for 3 days. But a lot of people won't even go half a day. You know, they'll spend decades of their lives without even, you know, going a period of 12 hours and without constant digestion. And
Right.
they're afraid if they don't eat, they'll die. So after you went 3 days, what would you say is the most common fear that you've seen surrounding people in food where they think that, you know, they need this? Yeah.
Mm, right. Yes, you have like I would say like ancestral fear. You're gonna die. You're not gonna survive. You're not gonna be able to move or to run. I don't know. You're not gonna be able to like survive. Like you have this little fear somewhere the first time. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I think it's really about ancestral and lineage and things. But no. It's really the reverse. It's really the reverse. You have so much energy. You have so much energy. You you're able. I would say you're able to surrender it makes you able to surrender. And for someone like me who really is into control and things, it's really important to have practice like fasting that helps you learn to surrender, because I think it's one of the most important things, even more nowadays, even more with the society we're in.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I agree. I agree. Just being able to let go, I definitely agree. You know, that's a superpower, is like, it's so easy to hold on. It's so easy. It's hard to let go. You know, for a lot of people, myself included in the past, I mean, it was so hard for me to let go. Like we spoke about, coming full circle, Laurence, the anger. It was easy to hold on to that anger.
Yeah.
It was hard to let go of that anger. You know, it's easy to hold on to the sadness. It was hard to let that go. You know, it's easy to hold on to, like, just to hold on to something, to feel like you feel alive by holding on to this emotion. But if it's not serving you, you know, if it's disturbing you, it's unnerving you, it's not serving you, can you surrender that? You know, can you let it go? And that's, I mean, that's one of the best things to let the energy flow, is when we surrender, we let the energy go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And really, my life experiences all bring me to this learning to surrender, learning to trust myself, learning to trust my guidance,
Yeah.
learning to be aware of all the parts of me, of my body, of my being aware,
Right.
really being aware. And surrender, yeah, it's really about surrendering to life, surrendering to the flow, surrendering to love, surrendering to life that knows the way. And yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And you said that you also had followed Nabiha, was that right?
Sorry,
Did you say
I didn't.
did you say before that when you found different pranic people on the path, was one of them Nabiha?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nabiha. What did you learn
Yeah.
from Nabiha?
Oh, I like your uh, freedom of expression. I like how she puts her energy in the world, like really freely. I like her. I feel like her fire. I don't know astrology or anything, but I feel like this fire, and I really her message, and she shows me there's, yeah, so many ways to live, to be as a woman too. And yeah, I think she opened for me like a possibility, and she inspired me to put more of myself out there.
Beautiful, beautiful. The power of inspiration, you know, the gift of inspiration, to be, I love that. You know, to be inspired is to be in spirit, you know. You're
Exactly.
inspired, you're in spirit, that breath is flowing through you. It's that inspiration, just like the respiration of the breath of life. I love that you felt that energy, and that you know that you allow that energy to be reciprocal. You don't just leave it there where you received it. You also give it out so others can perceive it, you know, so others can retrieve it. You're like a conduit, allowing it to flow through you as it grows to you. So that's amazing. You know, I just want to thank you, Laurence. Thank you, Laurence, just for your testimony, for your words, for your wisdom, for your experience. Thank you for talking about, you know, how these things can be ancestral and go back even generations, you know, generations ago, ancestral wounds, ancestral fears, ancestral, you know, things that we're dealing with now that we can, you know, take care of this generation so they're not passed on to the next generation, that we can actually cut certain energy cords and things that no longer serve us. And thank you for just speaking on your experience of the pranic frequency, you know, your experience of the lightness and the less density that allows you to have this propensity for more, you know, just you can explore so much more. There's so much more in store when you just let go, you know. So thank you for that spirit of surrender, for just giving us these messages. These are very timely. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerome, for inviting me. Thank you for the I'll say the soulful questions. Yeah, I really relate with you. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And
Thank
I
you.
know you're a coach, Laurence, you're a coach. So if anybody is listening to you right now, this is the first time they've ever heard from you, but they really just vibe with your energy. They really feel like really in tune with you and they want to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Do you have any websites, any channels, any offerings, any services
Yeah.
that you could provide for people?
Yes, yes, but you can contact me on Instagram,
Okay.
and I have a website www.naturalistic naturalistic
Hmm.
dot fr. But you can just contact me on Instagram. I offer a 3-month coaching to women to learn to work with their cycle, to balance their work life, their personal life, and really thrive. So you can really do everything with your cycle, like healing, building businesses. Like there's no limit. There's really no, like we said earlier. There's a lot about emotional release, and but it's really about expansion,
Yeah.
like you say. It's about expansion, and it's the portal. It's the portal for women to expand in ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Sacred femininity, you know, sacred femininity. The only limitation is our imagination,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, much love, Laurence. How do we say is it adieu, au revoir?
Au revoir.
Au revoir?
Au revoir. Yes.
How do you say like have an amazing evening? How do you say have a great evening?
Passe une super soirée. Passe une
Passe
très bonne soirée. Passe une très bonne soirée.
passe une très bonne soirée.
Très bonne
Très bonne
soirée.
soirée.
Yes. Passe une très bonne soirée, Jérôme.
Merci
Avec
beaucoup.
plaisir.
Merci beaucoup.
Bye.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.